Okay, welcome to the coffee break with Hebb&Griff.
Thank you. Good morning.
Let's tell everybody who you are. So you're Michaela, and you're from
E-Factor
Yeah.
and the Business Hive.
Fantastic. So yeah, let's talk about that first, because that is something that we're part of. So why don't you tell us what E-Factor is, and then we can talk about that a bit.
Yeah, okay. So E-Factor and the Business Hive, we are a business support organisation, and any business out there knows that business support comes in lots of different guises. So whether you want help with some grants and funding or help with a business plan, we're there for that. But I would say one of the biggest things and what's growing right now is the business community that we're growing, and the members like yourselves that are in that community. We're getting up to the 400 mark, which is a lot of businesses. So that provides businesses with a group, and you have events, including networking and workshops and masterclasses. So, yeah, we do quite a lot of different things. So,
How did you get involved with it then?
Yeah, so there's maybe a couple of things really. I was really lucky to have had a career where a lot of my transferable skills are able to come into what I'm doing today. So
was it the Telegraph you was part of before?
Yes,
yeah.
yeah,
That was it.
yeah. And I've been dealing with businesses for 40 years in lots of different ways. And actually, Mark Webb, who's the managing director, he was the managing director of the newspaper back in the day, and I worked for him back in the day. So our paths crossed there. But yeah, having the transferable skills to talk to businesses, help with various different needs and challenges. So yeah, that's
Is it the Grimsby Telegraph or the Scunthorpe Telegraph?
Well, it was. I started at the Scunthorpe Telegraph. Yes, Scunthorpe, born and bred, and because it's part of a large newspaper group, actually ultimately owned by the Daily Mail, but I don't think it is today. Maybe I'm not sure. They had lots of regional newspapers across the UK, so I was able to work regionally. So I worked for the Hull Daily Mail, the Grimsby Telegraph, the Scunthorpe Telegraph, Lincolnshire Echo, Retford Times, and the Boston Target. It was a regional role in the latter years.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's great.
Oh, so you do know the area very well.
Yeah, pretty much. Although, you know, the landscape is changing with various different sustainability or, you know, AI or lots of different sort of tech. But the businesses still sort of have similar challenges, but some challenges are different, I think, today as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that community really it's quite special. I mean, we have been part of the Business Hive now for, was it like 6 months at the time of recording this?
I think so.
And we've been made to feel welcome like straight away. It's a really nice networking community, and networking's always been something that we've kind of begrudged a little bit, because it's almost like it almost felt like a necessary evil. It's like something we had to do. We knew we had to do it. It's not something we particularly wanted to do, but our opinion on that has changed now.
It was more that I think we didn't want to do the networking events because like any of the networking events that we went to, there were your typical kind of template networking events where it feels extremely corporate, and we're not extremely corporate. We're like just two lads having a good time, just wanting to like, have chats with people, and that's one of the things that really put us off networking, because it just wasn't something that we enjoyed.
It's a bit intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And the ones that we went to where, you know, you've got to stand up in front of a room and you've got to deliver your elevator pitch. It's when you're starting out as a business and you're maybe not even sure what your elevator pitch is.
I still don't have an elevator pitch.
You're doing pretty well without an elevator pitch, I've got to say.
Yeah, it's difficult. So when we came to the first Business Hive one, and it was literally just, let's just chat to people. This is easy. This is nice. Everyone's welcoming. So what do you do? That kind of thing. Yeah, it's a great little business community.
Oh, that's great to hear. And, you know, we're not super corporate, although, you know, some of the employees of E-Factor have had corporate backgrounds to be able to have some transferable skills. But, you know, we're not super corporate. So, you know, what we do isn't for everybody, but a lot of people do like what we do. Very sociable, very friendly, people chatting with people, building relationships and connecting. In a real sociable environment. So yeah, it
feels like you say, it does feel like a community, because it feels like you're not going there to try and sell yourself so much. It's like you go in there to get to know people, to find out what they do. A lot of our recommendations through the Business Hive haven't been like the work that we get in through it. It's not working directly for members of the Business Hive. It's working for people that they know. So they're kind of saying, they've got people asking for video work or for podcast work, and they're saying, oh, well, actually, we know these two lads that do it, and that's how we're getting the work. So we're not going to these events thinking we need to really sell ourselves. It's more just letting people know who we are and what we do.
Oh, no, that's great. And I know your business has evolved with the podcast side of things. And I think you actually, was it at the Forest Pines business event that we had last year where you had a trade stand and a little podcast pop-up?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just talking to people, raising your profile, letting people know what you do, isn't it? It's a gradual, slow burn, but I think it's a fast burn for you guys. I think you've
it's going a little bit.
You're going 100 miles an hour, I think.
Yeah, it's going well.
Yeah, it is. So before let's go back to talking about you and how interesting you are, and because it's very much you're the guest today. So before you got involved with the newspaper and stuff like that, how did you get there? What sparked your interest in that kind of sector?
Okay, I fell into it by mistake, actually, because way back there was such thing as a youth opportunities scheme, which I guess you could probably say is like an apprenticeship. And you'd go to the careers office and say what you'd want to do. And I wanted to do modelling.
All right,
and I don't think they kind of knew what to sort of say to me. And I didn't know the first thing to do. But they said, you ought to get a job in town and, we've got all these opportunities. And, the opportunity was Hull and Grimsby newspapers, which didn't mean a Scooby-Doo to me. So I tried to have a look what was Hull and Grimsby newspapers on Doncaster Road. I was scratching my head thinking, I know what's on Doncaster Road. Hull and Grimsby newspaper. Anyway, it was a Scunthorpe Telegraph because that was its kind of like head office name. And I went along and had an interview and I just fell in love with the newsroom. Was just like what you see on TV. It was just crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you liked that?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the whole building was split into two pretty much. There was an accounts and an admin section, but the newspaper was either editorial or advertising, and there were both crazy environments. People on typewriters smoking cigarettes, just like what you see on TV. Like
just what you expect.
Yeah. And I was just drawn to the advertising department because it was creative and it was really sociable in that way. So, at 16, I fell into that. Right. So, and I haven't looked back.
Yeah. Amazing, yeah. So you are proper local Scunny lass.
Yes, and I've worked regionally, and I have lived in Hull or maybe lived in Grimsby, but pretty much friends and family. A bit of a home bird, really. I think I love travelling and stuff, but real home bird.
I think that's good though because it says a lot about you, and especially with the work that Mary Factor does around like the local area as well. Like, I think it's good that they're employing people that know the area and kind of value it as well.
Yeah, it's quite interesting when I do talk to businesses and they'll come, say they work from home or they're a sole trader, they come into the business community and we're sort of saying, have you been there? This event's coming up and did you know about this? Or Scunthorpe Tomorrow, for example, various sort of things that they're probably not even aware of. And, it's great to be able to share that knowledge of events that are happening or different sort of opportunities to say, look, be a part of this. This is what's happening. And that's
Do you find people are a little bit surprised sometimes at how kind of thriving it is here?
Yeah, and I think, recently we had a mayoral event at the cinema in Grimsby. Mark talked about, the thousands and thousands of businesses across northern Lincolnshire, SMEs particularly. They employ thousands of local people, and that is a big part of the local economy.
Yeah.
It and bring it down to what you've just said. Yeah, no, it is great to be able to think these are local people who have, set up a business, who've put the mortgage on the line, possibly, put the marriage on the line, probably. Lots of compromises to have your own business, which take a risk every day. People and who open businesses, so it's a massive privilege to be able to talk to people and say, hey, can we help and support you?
And have you seen people come in at that kind of small business level and turn into a large enterprise.
Yeah, very much so. And I was only thinking this morning, actually, because it was just recently mentioned about the 5-year anniversary of COVID. And I just started at E-Factor when we went into like a full lockdown. And I suddenly thought, oh my goodness, now what we're going to do. But actually the phones were ringing, businesses were struggling. Obviously some businesses were diversifying. There was a local gin company that diversified into making sanitizer. So things that were just happening locally that, people were just diversifying or just trying to, make ends meet. So I think I realised then, just straight in the job after 3 days, that actually, there's a lot going on, and some fantastic, interesting businesses, like you guys, just so much going on that you can compete with the big cities, pretty much.
Yeah, no, we find that this area has plenty of work for us to do, and it's not necessarily something that a lot of people are doing. So, yeah, it's good for us because it's given us a lot of opportunity to get the work we need and to grow to the point that we have grown. So your big event, your what would you say are your big event? Because you've got your convention. What's it called?
Yeah,
Sorry, I forgot its name.
So as part of the Great Big Small Business Festival week. Yeah. It's week commencing Monday the 29th of September. That week is a whole week of workshops, masterclasses. There's an awards night, or 2 awards nights now, actually. We're having one in North East Links and one in North Lincolnshire. But that Monday, that start of that week, is it's a massive, what we call Business Hive Live. Yeah. So, we have an expo.
That was
we have
the name.
Speakers. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I knew it was something like that.
Yeah. It's Business Hive Live, and it's just an amazing day. We take up the whole floor of the business centre at Forest Pines, and the footfall is amazing. We get people coming from all over the region to meet businesses, to have a breakfast networking event. As I say, there's an expo, and we have some fantastic speakers. It's a really great business day, and if you want to meet people locally, that's the place to be on the Monday, the 29th of September. Got to say.
Yeah. I mean, we like you said earlier, we did exhibit there last year, and it was really beneficial for us. So if anyone's listening that does want to go, then get in touch with E-Factor, definitely, because it's a great event. So you have some pretty interesting stories to tell. I don't know how to lead into this really. So, is it that you used to live in America, or that you just visited? Or
no, it was a trip to when I went to Los Angeles. I was really lucky to, as part of being on the album cover of the Prince album that we spoke about earlier. I went to Prince had a nightclub in downtown LA. And I was.
So did you already know Prince?
Well, we'd written to each other,
Oh, right, okay.
In the way that they'd sent an NDA from Paisley Park, which in itself is really cool. I've still got it today, a letterhead from Paisley Parks to say, would you be involved in this and sign an NDA? And I still think to this day that's Paisley Park. Wow, that's really cool.
How long does that NDA?
Do you know, actually, I hope it's finished now because I've just been speaking about this recently. So, I don't know if Prince's estate will be after me now. Probably not. No. I mean, the whole thing was a great publicity for Prince at that time. And, I was lucky enough to go to his nightclub, and I was only saying, from the hotel and the drive to the nightclub in the evening was quite scary because we were going through quite an area where all the Bloods and the Crips, all the gangs were there. You saw all the graffiti. And, from Scunthorpe, when you're sort of 28 years old, you think, wow, is this really happening? And then, cars driving past you on the motorway with bullet holes in the side because they've just come from Compton or some gang area.
Crazy.
So I thought, this is for real. So that kind of set the excitement and the sort of nervousness all before we got to the nightclub. So that was an experience that I'll never forget. Yeah. You see those things in rap videos, don't you?
You don't get that in Ashbury, do you?
No, you don't. No, not on Ashbury High Street. No. So those are those experiences you'll never forget. So
you were on the album cover.
Yes, yeah. It's the most beautiful girl in the world.
Okay. Oh right. Okay. Because I don't.
But we're gonna have to
know
get the album cover up on screen.
So
yeah, it's a. The story is that Prince put an advert. What an old-fashioned thing to do! Put an advert in the local press, or put an advert in the national press, and it said, "Eligible bachelor is seeking the most beautiful girl in the world to spend the Christmas holidays with." So very intriguing.
And he was like, "That's me."
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm there. Yeah, you think, why does he want to?
Are you a big Prince fan?
I was, because Diamonds and Pearls, the album had just come out, and I think he was probably at the height of his career at that point, because he was doing quite a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I should have put my Prince top on today.
You should have done.
Oh yeah, you got one, haven't you?
Yeah, you should have done that. I would have been all for that. So I responded to an advert that was in the national press asking for a photo to be sent to Paisley Park, Minneapolis, USA, and. What the hell am I getting myself into? But and
they flew you out there, and
we just we sent a photo that was used on the album cover, and
Can you point to which one you are?
There's yes, it's there on the right hand side. Yeah, you'll see.
On the right, is that you there?
Yeah, probably yes. I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, there's, with it been a collage, you kind of like,
that's what I'm trying to pick. And they're all
so
different.
That's great.
So it was, just so the whole thing, obviously, not realising what he was doing, but it was all about a promo to promo the album, and he just used sort of either unknown models or semi-professional models. He hadn't gone for the sort of like the top catwalk models, and and the adverts were all over the world. So we'd done a world search.
Yeah.
I think there's 28 girls on the album cover, and I think there was just myself and another girl from the UK.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Have you got the album?
Yeah, and actually, my partner managed to get from eBay an actual poster that was in the record shops. Because at the time there was all promo, there was posters everywhere, and he really did. The Prince's company did make a big thing out of that album cover. There was a video as well. So so I've got a poster in my downstairs toilet, like you do.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
a moment in time that was just the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
Most, I was in Hello magazine. Just some of the things that happened around that time. I know.
Did you go out by yourself?
No, I went with my partner, and it was just a whole. It's really hard to think back now, because I was on the crest of a wave. And you've got some really great things happening in your life, and you think they're going to last forever. I wasn't sure where this thing was going to go, but it was a moment in time.
Yeah, I feel like doing something like that and like applying for it takes quite a lot of balls to do that. Especially because you're going out to America as well. You don't know what to expect. No. You don't know what's coming. And I think that's that's great that you went ahead and did that. Have you always been like? Because I know from like going to the networking events and seeing you like talk in front of everyone when you're giving out the prizes and stuff like that, like you do come across very confident and like you're a great speaker, and obviously that's like kind of like part of maybe don't know what happened there.
It's all right.
Something fell down.
Just some spirit world with us.
Yeah, so you're clearly very, very confident. Have you always been that?
Yeah, so
that just go for anything kind of.
Yeah, the thing is, Ollie, when you think back, you think, how did that happen? And I wonder if it was a mixture of kind of doing some catwalk modelling, so you get up on a catwalk in front of hundreds of people, but going back to the newspaper, where we often would present in front of hundreds of people. You were selected sometimes to say, right, you're going to do a talk. We're going to be in the middle of, I don't know, maybe Derbyshire. We're going to be at a hotel. A lot of the newspaper groups are going to join up, and you can present on X, Y, and Z. So I think maybe there's a mixture of the two there, getting up on a stage personally, but also in my business world. So maybe that comes from that. And then, there's I think more recently, so I listen to Chris Evans in the morning, so love or hate him, but I just think for him, me personally, I find him really authentic, because he's just himself, and he makes mistakes and talks about things that maybe some people aren't even bothered about or interested in. So I'm not saying I'm copying there, but I kind of think you just got to be authentic, haven't you? You be yourself and do or say things that you believe in, or
Yeah.
I know that links into what you like to talk about with your personal brand as well.
Yes, yeah,
because that's really important.
Fantastic. I was lucky enough to have been taught about that. I was in New York. It's probably 10 years ago, and I was at a really big conference where there's like 4,000 attendees from all over the world. It was in Times Square. Yeah, really cool place to be. It was a week-long conference, and one day was talking about personal brand. Simon Sinek was there. I don't know if you follow Simon Sinek, but quite a big marketing guru. Right. So there's a lot of big names there, and this concept of personal brand, like I didn't know what anybody was talking about, and to be in the room and to start talking about the concept and how it works, I thought, oh, that's so simple. I get that. Talking about branding yourself rather than the company and the people, because people are buying from people. People are buying from you, irrespective of the fact that you're Hebb&Griff. You could be called ABC Podcasts.
Yeah.
It's Alex and
Good
Ollie,
name
isn't
for
it?
a podcast.
Yeah, it is. Like, you'd be at the top of the list with everything, wouldn't you, with the A? So that concept of personal brand was...
When was that, sorry?
Do you know, I think back, it's probably 10 years ago, probably 9 or 10 years ago.
That's interesting, because it's quite a hot topic at the minute.
Yeah, I feel like it's very, very recently.
Yeah. So it's interesting to hear that it's been...
Yeah, and I think fortunately, because don't you think America, they're always ahead of the curve?
Right.
I think pretty much usually with things, and they were always ahead of stuff. So, yeah, I'm not surprised probably they were talking about it. Like it might be 8, 9, but 10 years ago, it was a lot of years ago, and they were talking about it then. So
has it always been something you practice, or since
Yes, yeah.
What would you say the most important thing is to do with your personal brand? Like what?
Yeah, I think the thing about being authentic, so if you have an interest in animals, whether it's Jerry Greens or RSPCA or whatever it might be, I think, not to forget that actually, I've done some charity work for them, or, whatever it might be, your love or passion. It could be diving. It could be you might have a fish or a parrot at home. I know this sounds really random, but there's no secret.
It humanises you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's no secret that I'm crazy cat lady. But some of the directors of companies that have got cats that I've connected with, large corporate companies even, that we have conversations about cats, and who'd have thought? Yeah. So Alex Wright, Napton Wright, we talk about.
Yeah,
cats.
I remember you mentioning.
So but no, so that's my personality. And
I think people forget that like we are people, and
and we have
get us in a room and not talking about anything like business related. Like there will be a lot of things that people do actually have in common, and like you said, like cats.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that like cats.
Yeah,
I like dogs. So if anyone else likes dogs, talk to me about dogs.
Do you know? And did you get your dogs? Because a lot of people got animals in COVID, didn't they? That was a kind of a thing. Was that?
No, so it's my partner's dog, a border collie, Poppy. So she's how old is she now? I think she's like 13, 14. So it was before COVID.
Right. Yeah.
But so she's great. But I'm one of those people that like, if I can stroke a dog in the street, I'll try my best to kind of make my way in that direction to hopefully get a little chin scratch or something.
Well, talking and relating it to business, and relating it to business, I was saying about how things have changed. Dogs come into offices now. We're dog friendly at the business side in Grimsby, and we have little dog water bowls. Who'd have thought?
I love stuff like that.
I bring my dog here.
Yeah. So. So it's interesting how...
That's funny.
I feel like you can trust a place that accepts dogs.
Oh, yes. Actually, yes. If you're dog friendly, that's a real...
I'm off straight in there.
Oh, love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That
or even just a pub with a water bowl, like just out the front. Like I respect things like that. I think that's great. I love it.
Yeah. And isn't it the little things...
that
really do make a difference.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We need to put a dog water bowl outside there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we get that many passes.
No, we don't. But on the off chance,
I think we've hit on something there. I think lots of companies now are going to get dog bowls outside.
I get more hedgehogs.
Everyone will trust us.
Might get more hedgehogs than dogs.
Wow, yeah.
So, in your sort of professional capacity then, like what's something that you enjoy doing and working with businesses on? Like what's the thing you enjoy doing the most?
Do you know, it's down to the people as well. Obviously, in the business side, we do talk to businesses in lots of different guises, whether that's a sole trader or a corporate company. And people come to us for lots of different reasons. And I love being able to help everybody in some way, shape or form. A lot of the corporate companies have got lots of help and advice, so they don't always need that. Sometimes they want to be a part of a business community. They want to come networking. But I think for me often, when somebody's just setting up in business and they've been employed and they're setting up their own business, there's a huge, you'll know how different is it to be employed to having your own business.
It's suddenly got
different.
1,000 more things to think about.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, taking the risk anyway to finance that. But yeah, don't you think as well that's when you probably need the most support?
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you really get stuck in there early on then?
Yeah, and there's lots of things that I probably can't cover, so I can signpost people, and I have a great, at eFactor, there's a great group of people that can do. They've got expertise in lots of different areas. But just talking to a business about, what their challenges are, what their aims are, what their vision is. Any gaps that they've got. When you're talking about, have you got a CRM system, or do you need a CRM system, or your social media, which is everybody's thing.
Is.
Yeah, you do know. Yeah.
I didn't. And that's,
exactly. I've had that conversation before. And social media, which is always a big thing. With some people who say, do you know what, I'm going to get lost on social media and I don't know where to start, and that does happen
LinkedIn.
a lot. Yeah,
LinkedIn's crazy.
It is,
and it's so powerful and so useful.
Yeah,
and again. It's something that I've had to force myself to use a little bit because I know it's good, but I almost don't like talking about myself that much on it because it's a bit like what you were sort of saying earlier. I don't like to come across as I'm bragging.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
but you kind of have to, and I think some people are really good at it.
Yeah,
some people aren't very good at it. And I'm trying to work on it myself. But, it's tricky, and you've got to be on it all the time.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing again about connecting with your tribe.
Yeah,
and there's a tribe out there that we all connect with. A lot of the business community that are from the members. Then other people that I just think, I like you. You're quirky. You're. I think if you're authentic, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see that, can't you? People sort of just being the self.
Yeah, and you can tell who's. Kind of really trying to play the game, and like I said, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
You can kind of spot it a little bit. Sometimes I find it quite hard to know. I want to post a lot, but then I struggle to think what I want to post, and then I don't want to try and force to post something, and then it might be like a week and a half before I actually end up posting something because I don't want to just because I started going through a period of posting a lot and coming up with things to post about, and then I thought, well, I'm not being as authentic as I could be. So then I noticed that I'll post a selfie of me doing something and some funny comment that's my sense of humour, and then that'll do really well. But then it's hard to think exactly what I should be posting about. What would you say is the best approach for that?
Do you know, I'm listening, Ollie, because I remember when I first started LinkedIn, when I started eFactor 5 years ago, and I'd never used LinkedIn. So it was going to use LinkedIn because it's part of your job. And I was frightened to death. I thought, I have no idea what I'm going to say to people and who's going to listen to me and who's going to read it. And what happens if I kind of offend people? All these things going through my head. And it probably sounds silly now, but, you do.
No, it doesn't.
You're thinking...
I'm with you on that. That's what I think about.
And I want to be funny because I think I'm funny. And will that come across as funny?
The other kind of worst thing that can happen is you post something and no one interacts with it. That's almost as bad as offending somebody.
I hate that.
So and I can't remember what my
Not
first
one
post
bit of engagement at all. Delete.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. So the first post, I think I wrote something, deleted it, wrote it again, posted it, deleted it, and then just posted it and just closed my eyes and hope for the best. And I can't even remember what I posted. And I thought, oh my God, what's what have I done? Yeah. So I think, like I say, just things that people find interesting. So, what have you done this weekend, or have you run a marathon, or just something that you want to share with people? Because I really think it shows your personality with your hobbies and your interests, and a mix of what you're doing with work as well. But, if you took your dog for a walk and said, I've had a dog walk today and we've been to, I don't know, Whitby or somewhere. I don't know. Those kind of things mixed in with your work, and people can get a real picture of you. And then people who like dogs will like you. Yeah. It's like if you play golf, I play golf. Let's do business together. I only wish it was as easy as that. But I
played golf like once.
Maybe we should have a golf day for beginners. Yeah.
Golf I've heard of a who was it? I can't remember who was talking to me about a golf networking event. And they just play golf and talk business. I love stuff like that. Yeah. I'd be well up for an axe throwing. Well, we have done axe throwing networking event. But stuff like that where you're doing an activity and there's a lot less pressure on stuff. I love stuff like that.
I do as well. I think we've got something there. We need to. We used to before COVID.
Dog walking, networking. There we go.
Hey, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So there is
chat.
There is the networking. Matthew does.
Yeah.
So that's really good. We go around
but
Central
they don't
Park.
have dogs.
No,
I'm sure you could probably bring a dog.
I need to have a word. It's actually this week, I think, on Wednesday. I need to have a word, don't I? And say, unless we start one up, let's do a dog deck. Where should we go? I mean, Botsford Beck.
Yeah.
Ashbyville.
Okay. Anywhere really. That'd be great, actually.
I haven't got a dog.
Anywhere
but
with a cafe.
Yeah.
If you can finish at a cafe, and if they accept dogs.
I can borrow somebody's dog.
Yeah, rent
I can borrow my neighbour's dog. Yeah.
Can't you what? You can't.
Oh, do you know, I do.
Do you?
I do, yeah. Don't get me started on that.
On a lead?
No, they just come with me. Yeah.
That's great.
I have actually got videos of it as well.
Really?
I ought to put it on LinkedIn, didn't I? Yeah, this is it when you start opening up conversations. It's like, ooh.
That's great. I love
guilty pleasure.
Yeah. But those kind of quirky networking events do quite well, definitely.
Yeah.
Is that something what's the most kind of adventurous you get with E-Factor?
Yeah, so I was just going to say, I was thinking just about the business side of things. Before COVID, we used to have a business challenge event where you would do axe throwing, cool. Archery, all sorts of different and have teams of people. Unfortunately, I think the company that we were using, with COVID, obviously disbanded. But those kind of events, I think it's.
Let's do that again.
So yeah,
you can be on our team.
Yeah, no. So yeah. I'd love that. Anything to do with a boot camp thing. Oh yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Let's do a boot camp as well and go through the mud and go through the. The army things. I'd love to. SAS Who Dares Wins. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
No,
how do you think you do on SAS?
I'd probably.
I always think I'd absolutely smash it.
Yeah,
but then you look at some of the people on there and you think, they look a lot more athletic than me and they're struggling. So
yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah. We'd need all the. I forgot the guy's name who did the leaders. Ant. We'd need. And Matt Mark. Somebody is it? Is it? Fox or
I've only watched a couple of bits.
Oh yeah, are you not up for it, Alex? Me and Ollie are going to do it. No.
No.
Do you want to just take photos and do the video?
I like sitting down too much.
I'm in a job where we're on our feet.
I always think
80% of the time. So that's true.
I always think I'd do well on The Apprentice, but there's certain things on there that I also think I probably wouldn't do very well. But a lot of the branding and the creative stuff, I think I'd smash that easy.
So you're the more serious one, and Ollie's the sort of crazy one.
Yeah, if you want to have fun, stick around with me.
Oh right, okay, right. So okay.
What?
Actually, that makes a partnership work, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For you guys.
Can we please stop
labelling
labelling me as the boring one?
Should we edit that bit?
No, it's fine. It's probably true.
No, you're fun. I can vouch for that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if I get a drink,
not as fun as me.
Yeah, can't really drink at networking events, I suppose.
You can.
No. Yeah, you can. Christmas ones you can.
Christmas one.
Yeah, you can.
Let's get.
The last one was at a pub.
No one was getting pints though.
we could have ordered one.
Yeah.
So,
You could have done.
Book the trend. It was like 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Why not?
Look, Ollie's, he don't care. He doesn't care.
Maybe next one. So you're opening a what would you call it, a hub in Brig, aren't you?
Yeah, so we've been looking for a home in North Lincolnshire. We do rent some office space at the moment, but we were looking for our own home. And an opportunity's come up to have an office in Brig.
It is common knowledge now, is it?
I think pretty much,
Yeah, you announced it at the last one.
Yeah,
Oh, you did?
actually,
Right,
because it was under wraps, like the biggest secret.
We're not paying attention. We're too busy looking at the pint glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what's on the
Yeah,
tap.
and it's so exciting because sort of this growth of the hive with the community, and now having an office in Brig, which I think it's going to be kind of May time. So it'll be great to have a lounge for our members to use and some office space.
Can you say where it is?
Yeah, so it's like the Old Courts. I think it's called the Old Court. You know where the main car park is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Old Court. I think it's Old Courts Road actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the old chapel, which sounds really cool. It's a
it
listed
does sound cool,
building.
that. Yeah.
So it's on like 2 floors. So we've got
Amazing.
like I say, a members' lounge and office space and little offices. We can have little events and things. So, but to have a home in Brig, I mean,
that would be great.
Yeah,
Is that where
Brig's
you're
really
going?
lovely place as well, and I think it's one of those little towns that kind of quiet down a little bit, and then now things are happening where like there's more different like independent places and pubs opening, and it's getting a little bit busier now. And I'll go on the Saturday market sometimes, and it is thriving, and there's like buskers, and like it's an exciting place to be now. And I think it's probably a really good time to have the hub in Brig.
Yeah, I think Brig, it's always kind of had a little bit of a thriving community, do you think? And like you say, and it has evolved, but it hasn't really kind of lost its charm, I don't think.
It's like Ollie said, it's kind of riding a wave at the minute. I think it's it probably was a little stagnant for a little bit, but it feels like it's becoming a bit more kind of almost like boutique, a bit more artisan now, independent, like Ollie said.
Yeah,
I know. People that have moved out of Brig, well, like yourself, you used to live in Brig, and I live there now. And but there's people that I know that have moved out, and they moved away because it was a bit quiet, and they wanted to be somewhere that had a bit more to it.
Yeah.
And like Brig's never like really fully quietened down. It just kind of like got a bit, I don't know, like just safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now they're coming back to Brig every now and again just for like Saturday market or something like that, and they're like, I can't believe how busy it is now. And it's like they were like, I seem to have left, and then all of a sudden it's just like out of nowhere, new places are opening and places like that. And I just think it's great. I love to see that it is like now starting to really kind of thrive a little bit in the community. Like everyone, like it's a really good community in Brig. I've always enjoyed living it. So I've lived in Rawby, and then now I live in Brig, and I've no plans of ever leaving Brig. I don't think. It's just a great place.
Do you know the Ancombe weekend? There's a little walk, the little river. I love going along there.
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah.
And where the White Hart pub is, that's right on the river side as well. I think there's so many quirky little cute places. That, it's so friendly as well.
No, it is. It is.
So watch this space. Because we're coming for you, Brig.
Well, we'll drop in, I'm sure, at some point.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Brilliant.
I mean, if there's any remote like if hot desks or anything there, then sometimes I might like when you're not coming into the office, I'll maybe just walk across there and set up.
Bring your dog. We'll have some water balls. I'm pretty sure.
Cool. That feels like a really nice way to end it.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on. How can people kind of get in touch with you, find out more about eFactor?
Yeah, whichever way, whether you want to DM me on LinkedIn or businesshive.net website, through social media anyway. But no, probably through the website or LinkedIn is probably one of the easiest ways. So, but no, thank you, Alex and Ollie. I've really enjoyed today. I could have chatted all day, actually.
It's been great having you on.
Yeah. Lots more things to talk about.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.